Media testing me.
Today I'm going to show you how to make the flash transition. First you get some footage, then you decide where you want that transition to happen. I marked it here on the kick hit, duplicate the footage and then rename it to audio. Only enable the audio on it so you can change up the video without fucking up the audio. Split the clip here, move it after the transition happens. On the first clip you want to right click, enable time remapping and then keyframe on the beginning and then keyframe on the end. Move the keyframe to the transition, extend the clip, duplicate it, make a freeze frame. And just press command when you slide the value so it changes very slow. So you can just skip between the frames, because if you normally it skips a lot. So if you just press command and then slide to the left, you will see this frame. Now you want to make sure the resolution is on full. Double click the footage, go on the rotor tool, command and left click, you can make it bigger or smaller. Left click, select what you want, and then if you select something you don't want, just press option and deselect. After you're done with the rotor, press on freeze. Mute the clip below so you see what you're doing. You want to extend the clips, duplicate it, and on the bottom remove the rotoscope. Pre-comp both layers. The bottom will be the background, the top one will be the subject. Move them to the point where the drop is and then also above the layers. Also make sure to mute both of them. Now you want to duplicate the subject. Go on the track mat of the background and select the subject. Then click on this button so the background will be visible. These both you can pre-comp again. Also mute it. We can rename this to background. Go on the subject layer, add a fill effect, set it to white. And you also want to add a glow effect. Set the glow threshold to 20 and the radius to 180. The preparation is now done. Select the composition at the bottom, go on time, go on freeze frame, and then also for the subject, go on time, freeze frame, go on the subject, press T, keyframe the opacity, turn it down to 0 where you want the deep glow to end, and move the keyframe forward so it will reveal the next clip. Now press right click, adjustment layer, and then shorten the length of it. Just press command shift D and then press delete. You want to add motion tile. This is important for the shake, 150, and then copy it for the width and the height. Then add s_shake, Sapphire plugin. Set the amplitude to 0.9, the Z-dist to 0.9. Enable motion blur and set the mode blur length to 2. Then you want to keyframe the amplitude and the Z-dist. Go to the end and then set the amplitude to 0 and the Z-dist to 1. Now you want to press right click and then add a null object. Parent the subject and the background to the null. Then keyframe the scale and the position. Go where you want the transition to end. Pull up the scale. I want it so it scales in and it moves into the middle of the clip. So it's done like this. Apply some easing. I just use the flow plugin from eScripts.com and with my presets, also linked in the description. I want to go with the smooth R easing. Just a double click on it. The animation is now done. Now select all clips. Make sure the motion blur is enabled. Also want to add the chromatic edge effect from my new pack. Just go in the FFX, then add the composition, drag it in there. Press on the continuously rasterize on the scale. Pull it down to 50 because it's made for 4K, but we have a full HD composition here. If you get an error and the edges are red, click on the rocket and make sure the GPU acceleration is on. Then you can also adjust the chromatic edge. I will turn it up to 50, the RGB. And now the effect is done. It looks like this.
Media testing, bro, you're testing me.
If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. If you have any suggestions for the next video, also drop it in the comments. Bye guys. In the description below you will see a link to francescoeber.com. This website has a full range of digital assets that can improve your work significantly. If you have any further questions on any of the products, message me on the email on the website. It's time to improve your workflow.